Good afternoon. Welcome to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode
104.
My name's AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Well, Steve, who the hell we brought to you today by?
A super crazy housing market.
Please tell everybody what exactly what happened.
So upon finding an interesting, what they call resale house, since used house sounds a little too crass, for the handsome ransom of a bunch of threes, found a house at the base of a cliff. Just kind of in a valley in South Concord, only to discover that the seller's market has made said sellers lazy in this one-of-one showing. Dirty, dusty, cluttered, weird paint choices, saggy yard, strange layout so square footage seems smaller, structure seems decent, neighborhood looks nice, HVAC and water heater likely need replacement soon, roof new enough. We don't feel quite ready to dive in, not for what they're asking, nor the tens of thousands of nickels, dimes, and dollars up front. And the main road's a bit treacherous in the dark, so go fish. Mm-hmm. And that neighborhood that we're looking at have a few more options that opened up, still no customization, and like they still have anything available to tour. They're going to be building like one of the top tier models for the demo eventually. So this is getting a bit disastrous. Like right about the time I started my new job, market was a little bit cheaper. Maybe could have done it then, but still couldn't afford anything then. Now I might be able to afford something, and it's going quite sideways.
The neighborhood across the street is in that ballpark of pricing. If
the likeness not for pricing,
yeah. So there's that, and what bothers me the most about all of that is the customization. Like, what if you're buying the house? You know what? Never mind. I know why they do it. Because they can. Because they'll sell every single one of them without customization.
And basically anything except for the 1,200 square foot cheap model would be decent. I really don't care what the others are, but the run of the litter is 1,200 square feet for 90% the cost. No.
Well, keep looking. You'll find your...
Fan down by the river, damn it.
Hey, man.
Instead of the yellow house with a new roof, and I would not envy anybody needing to replace that roof. It was very complicated.
At least you don't have to get your house painted to appease HOA.
Holy shnikes, that's stupid.
Yeah, really. Well, Steve, what are we drinking today?
So one part... Yet another Voodoo Ranger from New Belgium, the Starship IPA, weighing in at 7.7%, not to be confused with the previous 7.7%, the Agent 77, also Voodoo Ranger, also the same percentage. Mm-hmm. And yet, this looks like the Moonraker edition of the Voodoo Ranger Special Agent.
Really does. Well,
I think they're onto something, and I like what they're doing.
We know how this works. 3, 2, 1.
Didn't explode. Hooray. Katink.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's excellent, and it doesn't taste like 7.7%.
That's dangers.
Steve, you also brought something after my own heart.
We will now call you Old Overholt.
Please do. The way I've been waking up after using that machine, I'm feeling like an old Overholt.
Yeah, so you gave away the treadmill since it's up along the tooth and replace it with an elliptical. That is going to be the death of you.
A Gazelle, even, and there's no electronic. Well, there's the little counter on the front.
Yeah,
but there's no motor or flywheel or anything. It's just less to go wrong. And it was only $150 on Craigslist. So
okay,
there we go. Well, I've never had any bottled in bond rye whiskey before. This will be entertaining.
This was courtesy of the ABC store just up the hill.
Nice. That's my favorite loaf of bread I've ever drank. That's excellent. I like that. Furthering our theory that anything bottled in bond is delicious.
Yes. I may have the opportunity to go into the Southern Carolina next week.
Yeah. What day?
I told him end of the week, if at all. It's up in the air.
I got you.
I figured it's just a matter of time before I have to do something points elsewhere. But should I wind up in the Greenville area, I'm going to go to their Costco because South Carolina has the ABC stores tacked on to Costco. Therefore, Costco whiskey.
Excellent.
Yes.
So we've had one on here before, right?
I think we had the Canadian and the Irish and the American bourbon. So I think the whiskey contingent's been well represented.
Gotcha. Looks like it's going to be anywhere between $1,700 and $4,000 to get the outside of the house painted fully. Unless I do it, but I need somebody to deliver
they wanted
some ladders.
Well, yeah, the one I have in my garage is not going to be tall enough. Well, they just wanted like certain parts of it.
But some of the other parts are fade. So I thought about getting a pressure washer and doing that first. I can
and
paint
loading
that.
it with paint, pressure painting.
Pressure painting. I can paint. I can get out on the front and paint that. I'm not sure I can get to the top, and I don't know how to put a ladder on something that's at this incline safely.
It's called scaffolding.
Yeah, so I haven't figured out. I'm more than happy to paint, but I don't really know how I'm going to do that yet without paying somebody to do it. And just to paint that little bit, that's going to cost an absurd amount of money to get somebody to do something that I could have done had I been able to reach it.
Step B, check out Mint Hill Tool Rental at the very end of 51. And if they may have any equipment there that would be useful.
How about I just call the fire truck out? I'll just say that the house is on fire, and then when they come, I'll just use their ladder.
That sounds very Jack Handy of you.
Well, that's why my friends call me Whiskers. Have you ever seen that? It was Saturday Night Live. It was the Harry Carey. It was Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey, and he would just say something. Because that's why my friends call me Whiskers, and it had nothing to do with any fucking thing. Maybe I dreamed it.
Whatever works.
I'm back from Vegas. Emily was there. Colin was there. Good times. Didn't win any money. Didn't lose a whole lot, but gained some ducks.
Nice.
I gained the surfer duck, the owl duck, and the basketball duck. I love that place. That place is boss. Like, we didn't even make it to any other breweries. We just made it there. But good stuff. We saw a magic show. Saw Matt Franco.
Was that the one at the Link?
Yes.
Okay, I remember seeing the signs for him 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess he's been pigeonholed.
He got big in America's Got Talent. And they actually named the theater after him. It is the Matt Franco Theater. So, and honestly, it was a fantastic fucking show. Like, it wasn't just tricks the whole time. It was like he had good personality and everything, and you could tell he actually enjoyed doing it. And said, I can't imagine why David Copperfield's still doing what he's doing. Like, I guess if they keep paying you,
yeah.
I just played a brunch gig, so to not very many folks. So, well, Steve,
it paid better than gas money, so there's that.
It damn sure did pay better than gas money. And
that said, it took Kaylin's car for gas today and spent $47 to fill it up.
Yeah, I think my last fill up was $58. And does her car take regular?
Yeah,
and yours does too, doesn't it?
Yeah. So like the Vibe called for at least 91, but once it hit the 250,000 mark, it got mid-grade a lot more often. Since then, it's like, I don't think I need to be driving this north of 4,000 RPM, let alone its 8,200 red line.
Yeah,
it seemed to keep going, and the check engine light stayed on regardless of what it was running. So it's like, screw it. If it's blinking, that's when stuff got serious. A few times that it decided to eat a spark plug.
The horses are not coming back to that stable without a full
rebuild. I don't know what happened to that car after trading out of Atlanta, and really don't care. It was a good car, but its time was up. But it remains interesting seeing the folks on the Gen Vibe Facebook page, like, still got them, still have them running, still keeping up with whatever mileage is beyond 2 and a bunch of 9s that, some that are, rolling at 350K.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't think it had the best life before you anyway.
That was definitely better kept than some cars I've had. That was
the red one?
Yeah, the red one definitely had been neglected. The first 12 years of the Vibe's life were decent. Like, there were still some service records in it. Still had, like, hell, there was a pay stub from its previous owner that, back in 05 or so, she might have been making 65 a year. Whatever the hell US Filter is.
Not a clue.
Don't know. Oh, well, to Ann and Neil Pfeiffer, wherever you are, thanks for a decent used car, and I continue driving it into the ground.
They the Vibe GT was stickering at what, or in 03?
There wasn't a window sticker, but there was a receipt, and that was $23,000 in March of 03. The car's built in July of 02.
I got you. Goodbye to those days.
Yeah,
for the good cheap utilitarian fun car.
My IMs would have been 20 new, and now, regardless of mileage, they're now selling for 20 5 years later.
Yep. Well,
and it's lost some of the utility since it has the carpeted cargo area instead of the all plastic, so the sticks are a little higher to keep that decent. Just throw some cheap floor mats or AstroTurf in the back.
It does look nicer, though. And when you have a load in the cargo, it doesn't either rattle or make loose macaroni noises.
Yeah.
Max sent me a picture of that, and it was two skeletons fucking. It said loose macaroni noises. Thanks, Mac. Steve, ready
that sounds impossible.
You ready to do the news?
Nope, let's do it anyway.
All right. Let's have it now. Steve, which manufacturer topped the list of the highest average transaction over MSRP at averaging over $4,000 in markups? You want multiple choice?
Sure.
Okie dokie. Let's do this. A, Porsche. B, Kia. C, Cadillac. D, Dodge.
Porsche.
No.
Huh. Caddy.
Cadillac is the number one highest over MSRP right now in markup, which is funny
That's
because
got to be very Escalade heavy because they couldn't give away the lesser sport utes.
No,
like hey, XT4, that's a thing. Nice Equinox.
Yeah, I will say the Blackwing is dope though. Unfortunately, though. Well, I would say you'd buy that used, but I don't think you'd really want to, knowing what that thing's going to be going through.
Yeah,
Go
much
CPO.
Like just because you could buy, one of the first gen CTSVs. Until recently, that was still a $10,000 car for your 4-door Corvette.
Yep.
But those have been driven hard and put up wet.
Yeah.
Nope. See also the Fiesta Focus STs that. Yeah. They're just going to get beaten into the ground.
Starions and Conquest were like that, too. I mean, they weren't cheap, though.
Yeah.
But most performance cars, a lot of them, you just got to be careful. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yep.
Hey, next up, the Felicity Ace. A ship carrying thousands of Volkswagen Group cars catches fire in the Atlantic. All 22 members aboard were rescued. No one died. But the ship remains adrift and ablaze with over 1,100 Porsches and almost 200 Bentleys on the ship.
And theoretically, Matt Farah's Boxster is on that ship.
No way.
Yeah. The rumor mill has been going very strong on that his latest toy that he ordered
was GT4.
It was a GT4
with the
big
motor.
It was like
those are sweet.
And he had big plans to get this further souped up, and it's literally up in smoke. So then it'll just have to suffer through the 328 and the Countach and the M3 and the Delica, wink, and Daling the Mache.
Yeah.
There is no Maquis, only paper mache.
Yes. I wonder if it's actually made of paper mache. I wonder what the crash test results are on something like that.
I haven't looked that up.
They're not great on Jeeps.
Anything's going to be better than a Fox body.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he got rid of that. He got rid of that in the vet
a
long time ago. I didn't realize he had an M3. I know Zach had an M3.
Zach has the 130,000-mile M3. Matt's got the 15,000-mile M3.
Oh.
He got the mintiest example from EAG.
What year?
It's an 04.
Is that Sean's body style?
Yeah, that'd be the E46.
That's probably my last, I think the last good-looking one, to be honest with you. Although I do prefer the one before that.
Yeah. Never mind that.
Better.
But the E36s do not hold up well. That was the early environmentally friendly materials. So the wiring harnesses erode, the ceiling panels fall out, the leather deteriorates if you look at it wrong.
I watched Jason. Have you watched much of Jason Camisa's stuff?
Little bits and pieces here, but he is one of my favorite hotheads.
He has a video on his newest one of Revelation. It's called Revelations.
Yeah, he's got 3 different substations. I can't keep up with any of them. It's like it's going to be the Camisa show talking about whatever car, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Yep.
So be
there
it.
You go.
And I'm busy getting him confused with Lieberman, whose Fiesta ST grenaded at $40K.
Yeah, but Lieberman's not easy on cars, though.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'm still able to squeeze 35 miles a gallon in my car.
Yeah.
I think tank averages have been roughly 33 lately, and gas prices are definitely helping me maintain a lighter foot on it now.
That doesn't... Well, you know what? It does help me because... I don't drive that much anymore. So.
Yeah, so it's what you didn't care about is even less an issue since now you went from a 10-mile to a 2-mile commute.
No, actually, well, it was a 7.2-mile commute to a 2.2-mile commute. So I cut 5 miles, but when during the week, so Sunday I don't work anymore, so I just went to lunch. But that was, if I wouldn't have gone there, it was like to and from work and then saucer Monday, and then to and from Poor on Tuesday. So I don't really do that much driving now. So now that I have a fucking box on wheels, it doesn't really matter if I don't have it.
Sure.
But what was I going to say? The video that Camisa did was about how the U.S. spec BMW was better than the one in Germany, even though the one in Germany had more power. It was the better car.
The M3s of the era, like the 240 versus 320 horsepower ones? Yeah. Interesting.
Yes. And he went through everything, and I was like, well... He said it makes sense why they did it, because they wouldn't have sold at what they had to charge for the big one. Yeah, they wouldn't have sold any. Subaru.
I was not aware of that.
Subaru's fully loaded 22 WRX GT will cost $43,000 and only be available with a CVT.
Yeah. That apparently the big difference between that and the lesser spec WRXs, besides wrong transmission, but it's got the better seats and like a few better amenities, because eventually they're going to have to sell the STI that will in turn have set amenities available
and be hopefully
manual only.
I hope so. But what you do not buy a WRX
for comfort.
For comfort. Having a GT model
now,
of that.
And now you don't buy this to be a decent looking car. Like
no.
Otherwise, it just looks like an Impreza that's been souped up. Now it's just like those fenders are atrocious.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to have a luxury version of a car. Now I know Jeep has a Sahara, but still, it's not. So it goes Sport, Sahara, Rubicon. Rubicon's off-road. Sahara's supposed to be the nice one with leather and shit like that. But they don't sell the Sahara as a so you're asking people to buy. What would you spend if you wanted a luxury experience brand? Not luxury, but if you want a nice place to be, and you want to spend $43,000, what in the hell would be wrong with a TLX?
Yeah, and
it would be better looking. It would last longer, and it'd be a Honda product. So I don't understand what they're doing with.
Yep.
That.
Yeah, when I become an amputee, the TLX will be on my list.
Oh my god, it's so pretty. The RDX is pretty too. Acura's fucking killing it with styling now. I don't know what they're doing with the Integra, but we'll let that slide. Can't win them all.
It still looks better than the ILX.
Yeah, well, that's fair, but that's a really low bar.
Yeah.
Subaru tops Consumer Reports in 2022 brand ranking. Fuck you, Consumer Reports.
Laugh all you want. That was very informative. Me reading about cars before I could even drive. Dad had a lot of those magazines and the annual books going back to probably 1998 till the early 2000s, and they would have the ratings of how cars held up. Like the oldest books going back to like 1982, 1983.
Yeah.
That now it's going to be quite irrelevant. That's now a 40-year-old car. That just things are going to break on that. But it was quite informative at the time, and whatever the twitchy handling offered by a BMW of the era might have been. That said, I'd rather have an 88 325i instead of an M3 because 6-cylinder.
Yeah. I forgot the name of the magazine, but they had their ratings. They would do acceleration, fuel economy, room comfort, entry, exit, steering handling, cargo room, value for money, and they would add it up at the end and give you it was funny how they
It was the first Doug score.
It was, and it wasn't arbitrary. Some of it, I just started out hating. Now I love Doug's videos, but some of them it'll be like styling, and it'll get like a 6 out of 10, but it'll be like, and then something stupid will get like an 8 out of 10. Like, what the fuck is going? And you shouldn't judge don't review a car from 1979. You can't really give that a modern Doug score because it has no amenities.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't have this, or he always geeks out over the foot mounted e-brake about older cars. I was like, that was normal to me. The first several vehicles I was in,
well, like they call that the original dual clutch. You have a manual with a 4 brake.
Yeah, even some new cars have. I forgot what he did recently.
Challenger.
Yeah,
the Challenger of all cars still has that.
But honestly, it's out of the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just for doing sideways things. It's going to make that quite awkward.
True, but it's not really necessary to do that anyway. Yeah. You can get plenty sideways in your Challenger if you really want to. I also missed the. How many cars have you had that had the high beam switch on the floor?
I've not had one, but Mom 75 Impala had it.
The Dodge truck had it. That's it. But it was so rusty that if you hit it, you could see it like
you could see the floor move with it.
Yikes. Yeah. Steve, we wave goodbye to the Mercedes A-Class in the United States.
Oh, how we hardly never knew ye.
Every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, you're balling on budget.
It's indistinguishable from the CLA. It's just the other baby Benz.
That no Benz should be front-wheel drive. It just shouldn't be.
No.
Nope. Are there any front-wheel drive Beamers?
The new 2 Series that's based on the Mini Coopers are.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Right. Okay. Because the 2 Series
but
is
like they held out a very long time to not have front drivers, but the new 2 Series that are not the older style. There's some weird thing going on with 1-2 Series that the older style ones that are still being built rear drive, and the newer ones that are based on the minis that are a bit more atrocious than the 1 or 2 Series that started back in like what 08 here.
Yeah.
It's like that is a very long in the tooth platform. I wouldn't kick it out of my garage, but
yeah, and I don't know. Well,
as far as cars go, that's a very old platform.
The 370 ran from 09 to 2021. So.
Yeah.
Well, the Challenger's old now too. Charger's pretty old too.
And all the underpinnings are going back to a mid-90s E-Class.
Yeah.
It's a tangled web we weave here.
And you know what? They sell every single fucking
one of
them.
LB engine in my car dates back to the late 90s.
Yeah, but that's what 22R.
That
was earlier.
The 2ZR and
2ZR.
like based on some of the other 1.8s going back to like a 98 Corolla.
Mm-hmm.
Like under hood, this engine looks very much like the Vibes did.
Interesting. So I wonder if it was just head work, like from the VTEC, that gave you the extra.
It's VVTi. It's not a Honda. The variable valve timing of it.
All right, the Vivity.
Yeah,
it's got to have a. Myvec was Mitsubishi. So
the Vivitine Rabbit.
What was Velveteen Rabbit? Was that like a
kid's book?
That's what I thought. It was like a not nursery rhyme, but like a kid's like the
not to be confused with the adult film Velvet Ecstasy.
That sounds sexy.
It was.
DeLorean is rumored to be revived as an EV in Texas by a group of former executives from the group Karma.
Well, for what it's worth, the DeLorean Motor Company got moved to Houston 15 years ago.
Yep.
So they're building new old stock cars and now have souped up the PRV engine from 130 to 200 horsepower. Cool. It's still not quick.
They're not heavy though, are they? Like sub 3,000.
About 2,800 pounds.
That's pretty light. I mean,
yeah, it's gutless from the factory, but with 200, it's still not a lot. That's still more power than I've had. That the second GTI was probably $190 with a chip in it, or the V6 Camry was about $190. Yeah, it's like I've never had anything 200 horsepower or more.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah,
I think we talked about that before.
we have, and my biggest engine displacement was 3.0.
Damn.
I've had no turbos.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I've had some very strange figures going on. Like all my favorite cars have been 1.8 liters.
Yeah, that's cool though. I mean,
It's just completely bizarre how this has panned out.
I've had 2 turbos. Well, what's hilarious is my current vehicle is technically the most powerful vehicle I've ever owned. Although the Starion had more, actually, crank horsepower, it would probably have more than 285. The Jeep's got 285. And the Starion dynoed at 245. So it might actually have more crank, but there's no way to tell that without putting it just on a engine dyno instead of...
How maddening is it to see that if you still had that car, you could have gotten a lot more for it now? Never mind, it was becoming
extremely
a menace to maintain it from unobtainium parts.
I did a lot of stupid shit to that car though. So I mean, it had no ABS anymore, no windshield wipers, no windshield wiper motor, anything. It was a fucking just I will not do that again to any car. Lesson learned. I haven't taken a bath on anything quite as bad as that. Although, to be honest, we bought it for $3,300. I had it for 9 years, and I sold it for $2,500. So it's not like taking a super. I mean, I spent a lot of fucking money on it.
Yeah.
But my latest ones, I've been a lot smarter with. Note to self though, won't be doing that shit.
Yeah, the magic of driving a car for free.
I've done that quite a bit, actually. Female tennis star Ash Barty celebrates her Australian Open title by chugging a beer on the winner's platform, much to the dismay of some critics. You know what I say to the critics?
Fuck them.
Exactly. Exactly.
EA bud.
What?
Eat a bag of dicks, critics. Yeah, bud.
Yeah, bud. Or I was going to say, yabby guy. Yabby guy, yeah, bud.
True.
People don't realize those athletes train and train and train and train. That's their job. If they want to have fun when they finally win a big prize like that, let them go nuts.
Did you see that some folks were quite shocked to see that Snoop Dogg had been smoking up backstage at the Super Bowl?
Oh, no.
In Los fucking Angeles.
Yes.
What? Well, you certainly lost a fan here, Mr. Dog.
I mean, really, yeah.
Really? Are you aware of his shtick in the last 30 years?
And did you know what? 2 weeks ago when we were in Vegas, I saw gambling.
For Valentine's Day, I did buy Kaylin a bottle of the Snoop Dogg 19 Crimes wine, which is awesome.
Okay. We sell a ton. Now that's my department.
Yeah.
I'm beer, wine, soda, and chips now. So we sell a ton of that shit.
Yeah. Everything 19 Crimes Red I've enjoyed. I'm not big into white wine, so I've not tried the Martha's Chardonnay. Mm-hmm. That there's a Martha Stewart themed wine from that same company. So they're based out of Australia. Like, somebody there has a great sense of humor.
Do you get arrested for racketeer? What'd she get arrested for?
I
forgot.
don't remember.
It wasn't high up on my list of memories to recount.
It was she got busted for something, and now she's out. And she and Snoop Dogg had teamed up doing shows. One guess who's been busted, and it's not who you think it was. Whoops.
I don't think she did it 6 months, but she still did more time than I've done.
Insider trading or something like
insider trading might have been
goofy shit.
But I don't think I think she actually I think this was actually on accident. I don't think she did what she did on purpose to do, but
and she had enough trouble. She had her own home design line sold through Kmart. Mm-hmm. Look where they are now.
Well, Bare Bone Vodka from Texas is released now and is said to be a bourbon-inspired vodka. I made the same face when I read that.
I'm sure you've seen the whiskey products that were not barreled, so it in turn becomes a clear whiskey.
Yeah.
So what'd they do? Put their vodka in whiskey barrels?
Nope.
How does this operate?
Don't know. I clicked the article and I read it and I still didn't know what was going on. So let me try to.
Meanwhile, last night I responded to something that, "Hi, I have died of boredom. Please give me a nice funeral." It was some incredibly bizarre car ad. Here's a bit about the car, and the guy's going on and on about his very asinine Navy career. It's oh, good, you were one of the guys locked into silos, weren't you?
So bare bone vodka, no nonsense, straight talking, hard working, smooth tasting, old fashioned, honest vodka.
John McCain's dead.
I built with America's finest wheat and corn. We hand blend in small batches in triple distilled water. We are serious about our distillation. The corn is distilled 6 times and the wheat 3, and then the final touch, a triple charcoal filtration.
So rather than being extra virgin, this is extra horror vodka.
Yeah, because bourbon has to be 51% corn to be. So
consider that instead of just whiskey.
No, bourbon is specifically 51% corn.
Okay.
It says smooth, clean, full-bodied with rich, grainy richness and citrus peel, vanilla, and caramel. I was like, well, that sounds fucking good. I don't know where in the hell you would find something like this, but I'm willing to try it.
And will they make a gin? Because I like that better.
I have to be in the mood for gin. I really have to be in the mood for rye, too, but that's actually really excellent. I had a glass of tequila last night on the rocks in Greg's honor because their puppy passed away. So, 14-year-old corgi. That's old for a corgi.
Yeah.
But that's to you, Raina. Cheers to Raina.
Cheers to Raina. I was like corgis. Kellen does not want one.
Well, they're a lot of work. Well, dogs are a lot of work. Well, kids are a lot of work, too. But Irish whiskey is set to overtake Scotch in sales in the United States for the first time since Prohibition.
Nice.
And
I prefer Irish because it's less harsh.
Same. I like, well, yeah, because I got to be in the mood for Scotch, too. But I feel like my palate is, I enjoy more Irish whiskey than I do Scotches. I like Scotch, but I like this much Scotch, and I like this much Irish whiskey. And I like this much bourbon. But bourbon is actually the stronger, like, with Scotch has the different flavor profile, but bourbon does have stronger notes. Like bourbon and rye whiskey have, since it's a brand new barrel, it's going to be a more assertive flavor. Macallan is releasing an 81-year-old Scotch costing how much per bottle, Steve?
$30K.
More.
$50K.
More.
Hundo.
More.
$125
per bottle. 81-year-old Scotch.
No. If I buy one now...
An aged
wait, it's going to be aged in bottle. Like, I pick up 12 here and just wait.
Well, I see where you're going, but it doesn't age once you take it out of the barrel, unfortunately. Just put it in another barrel.
Duh.
But you put it in a new barrel, you just bourbonified your 81-year-old Scotch. I don't know what's going on anymore. Friday was National Drink Wine Day. Did you drink wine Friday?
Well, yes, I actually picked up a box of old Vine Zinfandel, and it was awesome.
Nice. Where'd you get it from?
Lowe's Foods.
Nice.
The beer and aisle keeps eluding me, damn it.
That's how they get you, man.
And I got there too late to get the cheap barbecue. Well, like the sandwiches were $2 instead of $6.
You know, I have not been
to... If I get there past 7 o'clock, they shut down that operation.
I haven't been to that Lowe's Foods since they remodeled and put everything in there. Like, I haven't even been inside of it. Now, call me crazy. I don't want to spend any more time in a supermarket than I have to.
Fair enough.
They'd be like, hey, Steve, do you want to go to a dealership when you get off work?
Depends what we're looking for. But we're the undealership, AJ. Yes, let's go look at cars. Let's go look at cars all the time.
Yeah.
The trouble is, it's all the damn hassle. Like, some jerk in a plaid jacket's going to try to push us into something.
Yeah.
Well, yes, sir. Do you happen to have any Packards? No? Then we're not talking. See ya.
No, but we do have this Studebaker and this Duesenberg.
Go on.
And the mix of them called the Stuzenberg.
Duesenbaker.
Duesenbaker.
That sounds about like my stomach troubles.
Man, yesterday was a real Duesenbaker at work, man. A what?
Don't worry about it. I think I need to see a doctor. That's what's happening.
Scientists in Tokyo have created an antimicrobial lining that can wipe out body odor thanks to some sweet-smelling chemicals in wine and chocolate.
Just in time for Valentine's Day.
What?
Meanwhile, my $3 stick of Old Spice does well enough.
Mm-hmm. So I have to use solids. I cannot use
spray.
Gel. I can't use spray and I can't use gel. It just completely, like, goes away in 3 hours, and I stink like a motherfucker, so I have to use solids. But then solids stain every fucking thing, so I'd rather stain my shirt than make everybody think I don't bathe. I wonder what chemicals are in that, and why are they studying this?
Did soap operas teach you nothing?
Since I never watched them? No,
Well,
they did not.
The origin stories thereof, that they're called the soap operas since the soap companies were sponsoring the early ones.
Oh.
And that's part of what was responsible for making Americans bathe more frequently than once a week. Yeah.
I forgot. I think it was on Reddit.
Like, you haven't been to Europe. It's not just France that's offering generous amounts of time between baths.
Really? I think it was Reddit and had to pay. It had a woman in a big. It's like, imagine being horny in the 1700s. So by the time you get the woman naked, you find a cooch that hasn't been washed in 20 fucking days, and it was washed in the river. Like, oh boy.
That's why French men's faces are the way they are.
Or it also was like, if Paris is the city of love, what is the city of hate? First comment was also Paris. So even people in France hate Parisians, evidently. So I don't know. Have you ever wanted to go to Paris?
I've been indifferent to Paris.
There's plenty of other places in Europe that when you see the traffic at the Arc de Triomphe and the line to get to the Mona Lisa and all this shit, you're like, well, Germany looks pretty clean and, you know, not as busy unless it's Oktoberfest.
It's still a population of 80 million people and a landmass the size of Montana.
Yep.
So like, just because you can drive yay fast on the Autobahn, that's more likely to be at 3 a.m. when no one's on it. Like, they have variable speed limits.
Yes.
That it's not every day all the time go as fast as you want, since it's snug.
Yeah, it's a misnomer to think that that you could just do. I mean, yeah, you for very, very brief bursts of speed you can, just like here.
Yeah,
but not all the time, unless you're doing a not calling it a race around 485. Race around 485.
Where the top speed was just under 3 figures. It's been 6 years.
Statute limit, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I've only
but the fastest speed I ever achieved on the interstate was in the White Devil, $130 around Kannapolis on 85. It's like, I was 20 then. I'm 40 now. No one cares.
No, I think the Starion I had the fastest. I had it up to 130. And boy, it got there pretty quickly too. When with the bigger turbo, the smaller turbo would have ran out of gas by then. I had the S2K up to about 115 or 120. Let me tell you what's terrifying is the Wrangler at 100 is terrifying. Because all you hear is wind noise. You hear no tire noise. No.
We're going for a hurricane today? I think we have a hurricane today.
It's just super terrifying, allegedly.
Kilometers an hour.
Music. Yeah, that's it. 62. They're scientists. That's what we just went over, silly. Def Leppard, Motley Crue are to kick off their summer tour with Joan Jett and Poison. What year is it?
1989.
All right.
My heart won't kickstart itself, man.
I might go see Def Leppard. I've seen Motley Crue twice. I care not to see what Vince Neil looks like now or sounds like now, because it was okay the first time at Carnival of Sins. Second time, it's not fucking right. Have you ever taken a rubber chicken and...
Have you seen that meme that's like the shopping cart full of rubber chickens?
Yeah. That's... Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yes. To hell with the Tesla fart noises. I want a Tesla to make that noise.
Yes. There was another video that had, I think it was like keys, and it was keys, and then he pushed it down. It was keys. It was just a bunch of keys in a basket. I was like, I wonder if anybody else gets this, because I love the rubber duck meme. I would go see Joan Jett. Joan Jett would probably be a good concert. Poison,
because you love rock and roll.
Joan Jett still looks fucking fantastic too. Poison, no.
You don't want to see what the cat dragged in?
No, and I don't want Bret Michaels to talk dirty to me either. And CeCe DeVille looks like Gary Busey's fucking brother at this point. His teeth are so fakely white, and I don't know. I didn't really enjoy much of Poison stuff anyway. Did you?
Nah,
Not my favorite hair metal.
Standard hair metal.
But see, I don't consider Def Leppard hair metal. It's more of like arena rock.
Like same diff, but
like when I think hair metal, I think Poison, Warrant, Whitesnake, like fucking
the lighter
Rat,
or more hair rock rather than hair metal. It's like still something heavy but more listenable.
Yeah, like I think Def Leppard are closer.
Didn't seem to be as debaucherous as the others were.
No, I would put Def Leppard closer to Iron Maiden than I would Poison.
Which is funny because I think they're a joint English and American band concurrent with the likes of Iron Maiden in the British wave of heavy metal.
Yeah,
that nowadays is quite easy listening and just my speed.
Yep, I would put that much closer to them, Def Leppard. I would than hair metal because it wasn't about girls and drugs and shit. Like, I mean, Pour Some Sugar on Me was overtly sexual, but a lot of their shit was.
What, the soundtrack to every strip club ever? Go on.
Greg told me yesterday that they interviewed Joe Elliott, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't play Pour Some Sugar on Me because I'm almost 70 years old, and that just doesn't sound right anymore."
My diabetic medication really doesn't care for this.
Get the sugar off me.
I do have an interview with him through CGH recommendation, the Rock on Tours podcast. It's
nice.
So I do have that downloaded, actually.
Interesting.
It's like, yes, that name's fresh in my mind because I bootlegged it this morning. Oh, wait, it's free.
So they could just change the lyric to pour some sugar in tea. I like that. Finance Buzz, a personal finance company, hires a single woman to listen to 24 hours of breakup songs and rank them, and she was paid $1,100 for her troubles.
How much Taylor Swift was this?
Probably all of it. I didn't look up the songs, but there's got to be more than 24 hours of breakup songs.
Nope. Find something in genre, go nuts.
But is that 24 hours straight?
Yes.
That would suck.
Like that said, there's a Local H song called 24 Hour Breakup Session.
Oh, jeez.
The song's 4 minutes. Like it's awesome, but it's dark, but so's that band. Like, if I look like Scott Lucas, I'd be pretty pissed off too.
He does look like he has some not bovine. What's the pig term? And
swine.
He has some swine DNA somewhere.
I was thinking a bit Cro-Mag.
Swine mag. Swine mag.
That's how I shoot pigs. Use my swine mag.
That's my favorite country song from the late 90s, Strawberry Swine. You know what?
I got a feeling that a strawberry marinade over a pork tenderloin would be incredible.
Exactly what I was thinking. That would be that'd be really good. But you'd have to really char the outside of it, get the burnt in, but then have the sweet strawberry. Greg, listen to this. I was trying to convince him to come down for the weekend and have him sit in on the pod, but they were, they're still mourning the loss of a loved one.
That said, I've got some bad news yesterday, but things are improving. I'll tell you off air.
I got you.
Because that's been enough to put me in a pretty foul mood the last 30 hours.
I got you. Megadeth and Lamb of God are touring this summer together.
That's really funny considering that Mustaine was attempting to clean up his act and Lamb of God are not.
No. That's such a weird pairing. Like, I mean, not as weird as Madonna and the Beastie Boys in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which went exactly as well as you think it would have.
Kat and Josh went to an 80s themed party yesterday and she was Madonna and I couldn't quite figure out what Josh's very denim themed outfit had been. And it's not like he's going to go as Jay Leno to an 80s party because the rest of the crew won't care.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, so there's
still no further word on the bottle shop opening.
So Marilyn Manson's band always named themselves. The first name was a starlet, and then last name was a serial killer.
Twiggy Ramirez.
Twiggy Ramirez, Marilyn Manson, Daisy Berkowitz. Olivia Newton Bundy. Jesus, let's see. Gidget Geen. There's been a couple. There was another one I was trying to think. It was Madonna Wayne Gacy. I was like, that's actually pretty fucking cool, man. I like that. But that's the album he's getting this week. Is how much Manson have you listened to?
All the hits and a little bit outside of, but it's been a long time.
Mechanical Animals is so fucking good. Like, it's not.
Are you saying you like this older stuff better?
Actually, we'll get into that after this. MRC Data, a music analysis firm, this is funny that you just said that, states that older music makes up 70% of the total music market, while the top 200 singles today only make up less than 5% of the total weekly streams. Bravo, people.
And I help.
But going back to it.
I mean, I already told you about my Last FM fudging project, right? That what I had been running on a Raspberry Pi 2B, I'm now running on a Raspberry Pi 1B. That it plays, but it does it at its own pace just to keep music playing and keep racking up plays on Spotify. Mm-hmm. So now my Last FM is at almost 860,000 plays. And I think about the time I got married, it was roughly at 800K. Jesus. So that's a lot to have been done in 6 months that have just left this tiny computer running the whole time.
So let's see here. Discography. Let's do Marilyn Manson discography, and because Mechanical Animals was kind of in the middle.
94.5?
98.
Like,
Mechanical Animals was 98. Portrait of an American Family was 94. That had Sweet Dreams on it. Then you had Antichrist Superstar. Both of those were produced by Trent Reznor.
Was Smells Like Children earlier?
Smells Like Children was an EP in between Portrait and Antichrist.
Okay. I remember seeing those in a CD shop. Yes. Back in the pre-driving days.
Uh-huh.
What's up, Suncoast?
Yes.
I'll tell you, Manifest closed, right?
Yeah, that sucks. The first two albums were Trent Reznor produced.
Natch.
You can totally tell. Whereas when Mechanical Animals came out in 98, it was not him, and it sounded completely different. Now, I do like Nine Inch Nails, but I like the production on Mechanical Animals a little more. There's a little more emphasis on bass instead of just
chainsaws,
industrial noise. And it's more of, so even the first three, I'll include Smells Like Children, the first three were more industrial metal, and then that one was classified as industrial and arena rock. So it was more... But I like the groove of it better. It wasn't just an all-out assault on the ears. It was more of a groove to it. So that's why I'm giving it to Greg. That's supposed to be a trilogy. Antichrist, Mechanical, and Hollywood and The Shadow of the Valley of Death are supposed to be a trilogy of albums. But they don't sound anything alike. So
frankly, they don't give a damn.
Let the artist do whatever they want. Let Trent have his Halo 1, Halo 2 shit.
Yeah, that everything became Halo, and one of which was a VHS live recording, which those tapes are worth a lot of money now.
Oh yeah,
but cool. I don't have a VCR. Did I tell you I actually sold my last two DVD VCR combos for $50 to a friend of a friend.
Oh really?
Yeah, like one of which had a remote. It's like, here you go.
Is there a VHS / Laserdisc player that exists anywhere?
I am unaware of such. I wouldn't put it past to be a thing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I was like, well, I had that Laserdisc player briefly and
so funny.
Managed to actually make money on it because I think the player I got for $20 and most of the Laserdiscs I bought at community thrift store and they thought they were records. So they were $1 a pop. So one time I did have the 18 Laserdisc collection, including some cool stuff like the first Die Hard and True Lies.
Yeah. You know, the picture actually, from what I remember, was not terrible.
It was as good. It was still 480 since that was before high def, but that was the clearest picture possible before the DVD came on the market in like 96.
Yeah, and DVD is all right. So CD
and Laserdisc came out in like '78, but the players started out at $2,000, and the movies were $100 a pop.
Yeah.
Whereas DVDs, when they first came out, were $300 for a player and $20 per disc.
Yeah.
Which quickly thwarted Laserdisc production, and I think they left the U.S. by 2000.
Yeah, I think CD quality is 128 kbps, and then
least.
DVD's 256, and then Blu-ray's 320. But in audio, it doesn't really fucking matter. But the funny part about audio is 64 mono is the same as 128 stereo.
Yeah, you just have the two different channels.
Split the channel. Because like the reason our episodes were so fucking big, A, they're 2 hours long, but B, I was putting them in high quality when I was like, well, okay, well, what is... So I was looking at radio stations. BBC Worldwide Radio is in 64 mono. I was like, well, you know what? If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
That's also the difference in Mark Maron's podcast versus...
It's lower than...
Or 40.
He does...
Something between the both of those.
His sample rate, though, is not 44.1 like mine. It's actually 22.
Okay.
So he actually does it at a lower sample rate. But it's very comparable, but it's still...
It still works. Like, even his guitar playing at the end of the episode sounds good enough.
It sounds like somebody recorded it with a really top-of-the-line camera phone in the room with it. But the thing is, with audio, like, I don't really want to hear... I just want to hear the show, man. It's not music. I don't want to hear the best... You know
how good does this need to be? It's not like we're singing to you.
Yeah, we can, though.
Hey, you've got the technology. Versus everyone's favorite MMA misfit records at a really high bit rate.
Oh, it's stupid.
And the entire collection is in the hundreds of gigabytes.
Mm-hmm. That is good. I'm proud of me.
Like, oh, darn. You actually enjoyed this thing I brought? You're welcome.
I don't think I've not enjoyed anything before you've brought. What was the cocktail, though? I liked, but I didn't
The
love.
Negroni?
Yeah, Negronis they would Negroni on me.
Well, that's also a triple shot at once, and you couldn't drink 3 of those and stay awake.
True.
That will knock you on your ass. I know, because I've been there.
Since when does Ebenezer Scrooge make whiskey?
Yes.
Claremont and Frankfort, Kentucky. Well, we have more liquor downstairs, or we can just keep it to beer.
Beer. Well, I do have some Happium with me, and I think you would need one of them.
Let's do Happium.
Alrighty.
Because I'll probably end up... I said I wasn't going to do... We were going to do dinner after this, but I wasn't going to go anywhere, but I might because we don't have any food here.
Yeah.
Because Emily's out of town, because it's sexy party time.
Yeah. I was like, what's up, Stewie? Meanwhile, I got to go to the in-laws and further discuss whatever housing shenanigans are next.
Part of me hopes it's closer to me, but most of me hopes that it's best for you guys.
Yeah, it's still going to be somewhere between like Concord and Stallings.
That's
so at least within half an hour.
Yeah, it could be. Emily gets a job. Emily's new job is literally across the street from her old job, so we wish it would have been closer. But she gets paid $5,000 more to do the same job, and it's Monday through Friday, and the insurance is good, and she still gets her severance. So we're going to be paying some bills down a little bit, and maybe getting the house fucking painted. Goddamn HOA.
Have you heard of the Psycho Stick song "Loathe Thy Neighbor"?
I need to. Actually, I like my neighbors.
There's a bit on that about the HOA being likened to 1943 Germany.
Oh boy, well it kind of is.
Look at that.
I got it.
All right.
Oh. Damn it! I love Foothills.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be in. We got a gig in Hendo again next weekend. Triskelion.
Hendersonville or Henderson, because those are two very different places.
Hendersonville. I'd like to have a gig in Henderson. I would dare say Harry to you. Henderson, Nevada.
Oh, it's like Henderson, this state, like
no.
Bumstick, nowhere.
No, Henderson, Nevada. Where
I did get in touch with my old roommate that lives up that way.
Nice.
He, I think, is now the sole owner of Mistletoe Villa in Henderson.
Cool
it is.
Fuck.
house built in 1890 or 1885 was like historic property, and I think the other co-investors dipped out in the last 10 years that he's owned it, and his own house is built in 1925.
I like that, but then like having my spouse with me, she would be so worried because she worked in insurance so long that about like houses like that have character though. Like,
yeah, the both of his properties are quite fantastic. The Mistletoe Villa it's taken a lot of work in the decade of his stewardship.
Is there a basement?
I don't think so.
Because if there was, you'd have to kiss somebody under it.
Hey. I'll let Matt know. It's like, yeah, this is my old roommate that got the job with the National Environmental Health Services in RTP back in like 2004.
Have I met this guy?
No, but he's a very fascinating individual.
What's his last name?
Matt Jordan.
Jordan. I don't have
He is of the homosexual persuasion, big into guns, trucks, and vintage Macintoshes.
That's really weird for somebody of that ilk.
Yeah, and especially to wind up in the north central side of the state. So imagine the dating scene is not very good for him. He works out of Durham, so at least that would help, but he's still 40 minutes from work.
That'd be unfortunate.
But yeah, he's a very interesting fellow.
Younger or older than you?
8 days older.
Sorry. Reconnect your hard drive.
Huh?
That's what that every now and then that'll pop up. I haven't touched anything, by the way, so
that box is made of old parts, so there is that.
It still works. So I'm it still works, and that's all that matters. And it's not like I do a whole lot of,
But basically, it sees use for this.
Yeah, and YouTube, and that's it. And then when I'm done with like all our episodes, so I think usually I do keep 10 episodes at a time and then delete the 10 previous because I can always just re-download the fucking thing anyway. So, damn it, we made it.
The files are in the cloud.
We can.
Have you seen Zoolander?
Yes.
The files are in the computer.
I always thought, what was the bark made of from a tree? It's that movie's so fucking stupid.
The second one is not worth watching.
I didn't think it was. But what about Super Troopers 2?
I need to watch it again. I didn't hate it.
But you didn't like Boondock Saints All Saints Day.
Nobody did.
Okay.
Did you know how big a cost-cutting measure they did for that one?
No.
Everything's indoors.
Oh.
They really cheaped out on it.
Yikes. So I'm just not going to watch it then.
So you haven't seen that?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, don't.
Okay.
That is carrying the tradition of shitty sequels. I was telling Kaylin earlier about the wonders of Weekend at Bernie's 2 or Crocodile Dundee 2.
Emily was watching Crocodile Dundee 2 when I came home the other day. She's like, it's entertaining. I'm like, yeah, but it's not good.
Even the first one's not exactly good. It's just kind of a fish out of water story that you've got this total badass out of Bumstick, Australia.
Yeah.
Just being fish out of water in New York.
Yeah.
But the movie isn't good. Like, the only worthwhile thing is that's not a knife. This is a knife.
Paul Hogan is still alive. How old is Paul Hogan?
75.
Older.
80.
Older.
85.
Younger.
83.
Younger.
2.
Yeah. He is also 5'9".
It's my height, says my license. Says me 5'10", but whatever.
He's 5'9".
Yeah,
been married 3 times.
Goodness.
But for long periods of time, so from 58 to 81, 82 to 89, and then 1990 to 2014. And I think his first and third wife died. So what happened to Paul Hogan? He's still alive. $4.5 million mansion with his son Chance. What a hard life.
It was so funny that he was shilling for the first Subaru Outback. That Dad had one.
Yeah.
The was not a good car.
No.
And the particular example had been wrecked that the guy that sold it to him said it hadn't been, and discovered along the way, like, the front brakes were rubbing. Like, some really weird things along the way. But it was still, like, the green color with the gray cladding, the saber-toothed tiger fog lights up front.
Yep. That was the...
the 95 didn't have the giant fog lights.
Yeah. That was the color that they marketed when it first came out, I think, on the commercials.
It was something between a teal and a, like, Kelly green.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because I almost bought an Outback wagon, but the turbo, better looking one. I'm kind of glad I went with Jeep instead, just because the Jeep's not as nice on the inside. It's very...
You definitely feel that you could not feel bad about beating the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Versus, especially like one with a leather interior. It's like,
yeah,
I don't want leather on anything.
No.
I've had one car with leather.
No, I've had a decent amount of cars with leather, and I would prefer not to have leather. S2K had leather, even though very soft leather. Starion seats were great. They were leather. Just don't want leather seats. Like, because the Jeep's all plastic.
We do need more burgundy interiors, though.
Yes, we do. Because the Jeep's interior is not rattly at all. It's plastic, but it's durable. It's not... Once Fiat took over, they made the interior a better place.
Or it's not GM plastic that breaks if you look at it funny.
Yeah, that.
So how that'll work.
I'm sure you... I would love to be a tag-along one day to actually like get to do deep dives on shit.
Back in my photo days, I maintained what I called the shit list. Mm-hmm. Cars that have made it to photo that need to be sent somewhere to be repaired in some capacity. Between May and October of 21, I had 600 entries on the spreadsheet.
Goh.
Please, folks, get your shit together.
I will even say cars that are luxury cars. One of Emily's well-to-do... Oh, timeout.
I tell ya.
Oh, one of Emily's well-to-do...
previous cohorts.
No, cousins and family members who very much like to wing it sometimes have a Bavarian SUV that I sat in the back of, and I'm touching the door panel, and I'm touching it, and I'm going, this is not what I pictured a door panel from a $70,000 SUV to feel like.
Was that a X5 or X7?
5. I think it was a 5. 57. I don't remember, but either way...
You're sure as hell weren't going to fit in a 3.
No, and it's brand fucking new, too. It was like 2021. Like, so I'm like, there's no way...
So meanwhile, if I need to go to Spartanburg, I'm going to start yelling at the BMW factory, get your shit together?
I guess.
I should toured that back in the day, but that was all like Z4 turf back in 07.
But I don't want to hear anybody complain about plastic choices when a 2021 BMW SUV has that kind of plastic. It did not feel any better or any worse than your average Japanese Econobox. It just really didn't.
I think the most you could hope for is after a decade, it's not warped, it's not sticky, it's not broken.
True, but the people who buy those cars don't keep them for a decade anyway. So it's not like you can't even tell. Like, remember Sandy's Versa? That was just everything was falling apart. Mechanically, it was fine.
But the epitome of being the cheapest car in the market at the time.
Like, mechanically,
and
it was
still
fine.
is one of the cheapest cars in the market.
But
now that the Mazda 2 and the Yaris of Toyota or Mazda Persuasion are gone.
Yeah.
The Chevy Tynasonic Spark. This is its last year. Darn.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Anyway. I actually posted that on the car forum at work, and some folks were like, I really like my car. Like, it's the last cheap American car, man. It's like, I just don't want to find a to start with.
I mean,
and somehow that wasn't a Daewoo product, whereas the Trax and its Buick Encore counterpart, Wolf and Wolf-er, are both actually Daewoos, and that now boosts the cheapest possible GM offering beyond 20 grand instead of the Spark was 14. And that's a significant jump in cheapest car option.
True.
I mean, not something I'm looking at since the used market's much more entertaining if Bonger's McTavish.
Well, you and I are still cut from the same cloth of we will never buy a brand new car.
Yeah.
I am casually looking at what Z's are going to go for, but with the shortage of new inventory and such.
Dear, that's going to be super fucked.
Yeah. So,
do you think it's going to rival the RAV4 Prime having a double MSRP?
Oh my God.
That was so funny hearing Doug talk about that one.
That's stupid. I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing that's worth double MSRP brand new. You don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, like, the same thing that's happening. The same thing that happened in the 90s is happening now. So in the 90s, your muscle car craze, all your Hemi Cudas, your Bel Airs with matching numbers, your Camaro RSSSs were going for $100,000, and people were going, these are not $100,000 cars. And now, an Integra Type R is going for $80,000. It's the same fucking thing that's happening.
The cars, the hero cars of your youth are worth way more money in somebody's eye.
People like us, they're being 60 and set. They can finally afford the cars they wanted to afford, and now they're overpaying, and now the market's going higher. Should I have held on to my Starion? Probably. Would I had to have sunk another, realistically, $10,000 into it to make it perfect? Probably. Would I've only been able to sell it for $12,000? So do I really want to spend 10 to make 12? Not really.
Don't kick yourself for that one.
No, I don't.
You'll see the occasional one that's gone for 10 or 15. Like, it's still obscure Mitsubishi car. Like, that's gonna be the next guy's problem trying to keep this thing running.
Yeah.
There's only so many forklift parts that fit this.
Mine dropped transmission. I was not doing any. I was at Concord Mills, and I'm in first gear. Rev it up to about 25, $3,000. Like,
what the
well,
fuck,
I have
Eric
first
Andre?
and fourth gear. I have no reverse, no second,
Goodness.
no third, and no fifth. That was about that, and it would heat soak after a while, and the injectors would just not fire over 2,500 RPMs if it was sat in traffic for a long time.
Oh, no.
I never figured out that problem. So, you know what? The fact
now
that I got
you
rid of
don't
that car,
have to.
I don't have to now.
It's kind of a mixed blessing, much like me totaling the Volvo that was my first car. Like, every time the thing goes in the shop, it's $500.
Uh-huh.
And, well, don't have that car anymore. And then had the 240 replacing it 3 months. It's like, well, it was wrong in the transmission, but it was a cherry red 240. You don't see those.
No, you don't see red Volvos that much.
Yeah.
740 came in a pretty color red for a little while with the gunmetal wheels.
Yeah.
Don't know if you can get that with the right transmission, though.
If I recall correctly, the turbo stateside with a stick were rare.
Okay.
I think it's possible, but difficult.
Yeah.
And then the 940 was completely automatic stateside that replaced the 740. Never mind, it looked the same, except it had a bigger trunk because the deck lid set higher.
It had more junk in the trunk?
More junk in the trunk.
You know what cars...
And the wagons would be indistinguishable because it's still the boxiest of box on wheels.
True. You know what car's grown on me since it came out, and I'm like, that looks okay, but it doesn't really do it for me. And then the more I looked at it, I was like, it's actually a pretty damn good-looking car. Doug did a video on it very recently. The brand in question was voted by us as the best automotive logo.
Alpha?
Uh-huh.
The 4C.
Yeah.
Wrongly transmissioned. I got to drive one of those at work.
Mm-hmm.
It rivaled the smart car's transmission as the worst automatic possible.
Really? Well,
it's so bad.
In auto at low speeds, it's probably.
Yeah, it made a lousy showing that yes, this is not my preferred transmission, but like this is woeful. Mm-hmm. This is just bad.
But now that I see, like when I see it now, I'm like, that's actually a good looking car. Like now I'm actually kicking myself 2 years ago not buying a C7 because now I could fucking sell that goddamn thing for $50,000. You could pick up one for $30,000. See
also my CTSV comment.
Yes.
That, all right, is going to be, the best maintained car? No. Is it going to go like hell? Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, if somebody were to
you don't like Mr. Regular, but he had an episode about the first gen CTSV.
I just don't want to hear the same thing over and over with the monotone voice.
That's the most monotone Pennsylvania accent possible. Which is funny, it's like between him and Angry Video Game Nerd, they're both out of Pennsylvania.
There's a theme here. So is this, and I like this.
Well, not AVN, AVGN.
AVN.
Oh my,
that's something
very different there. AVN, not AVGN. But I think he's out of PA because he's always chugging Rolling Rocks on it. But like, dude's been on YouTube for 15 years, like screaming about bad video games. So if ever there's a game that you might have enjoyed and he hates, it's going to be amazing.
Deja Vu. You ever play that?
Yep. All those Mac ventures were quite entertaining. However, translating to the NES, so it's a point-and-click adventure, and it's only handled through control pad because there's not an NES mouse.
I beat it, but I looked it up step by step on how to do it, and then I did it just because I rented the game one time, and my sister and I got so frustrated with it. This game is fucking stupid. Same way with Echo the Dolphin. Like, this game is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, but I haven't replayed that. I don't even know if it's on my right. It probably is.
It is.
Okay.
I would definitely bet that it is because it's the everything, remember?
True.
Like,
I'm still having fun with the Mario hacks.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many of them. I've actually joined more communities on FaceBase surrounding that.
Yeah. So how do I download more to...
We'll discuss off air.
Okay.
Yeah, it's possible. Like,
because
your support's Wi-Fi, so like it doesn't have the wired in it even.
So Blue Television Gaming, I really like their stuff on the Mario hacks, and I'd like to play some of their Mario hacks that they have done. So I really like that one. So do we want to do a music or a car? All right, so we're in 104, and colloquially, we dropped the first digit, and we're in 04, and I graduated in 2004. So we could do songs from 2004, or we could do...
Cars from 04? But the first Scion, the XB, y'all. That... an ex-girlfriend of mine still has her like early XB.
What? Really?
Oddly enough, a young lady that I dated when in Raleigh is now in Charlotte. And like she actually dropped by the Palm a few times. Like she's now since married and has a few kids, but still is rocking an early Scion XB.
Something about simple to operate. Small engine, not a lot to go wrong. Something.
I think the worst problem it's had is it can't keep hubcaps on.
You know what? This will be. Yeah. They never. Yeah. Honestly, they look better with the.
I like the Steelies.
I like the black Steelies. Like gray Steelies look bad, but black Steelies on a gray Scion XB.
Yeah, this is a gray car.
Safari XB. Lift it like 5 inches.
Nice.
That would look.
That would be Element on a budget.
That'd be the fourth Element.
What's your take on Hoovy?
So I started out going, what the fuck? And then I looked at it, and after a little while, it was like the same kind of thing over and over again. But then I went back to, Doug does the same thing over and over again. So I was like, I appreciate it. Like Car Trek's awesome.
Yeah, Hoovy is what I like to call vehicular schadenfreude. Mm-hmm. And he went to auction recently on behalf of the unfortunately misnamed Euro-Asian Bob, not Urination Bob. Like, wow. And like he doesn't care. Like, but went to auction to place bids on a couple of cars. Spoiler alert, lands on a second-gen Corolla XRS. So, stick shifted. So it has a Camry engine instead of the 8K RPM like the 05 would have, but this is like an 09 or 010.
Yeah.
And
that's always weird to say.
And an Element.
an element
versus the everything else like rusted out Colorado, Silverado, Neon, a
nice
Honda third gen CRV that's in rough shape,
Jesus.
a wrecked Caravan.
What version is K's? Is it a fourth
yeah,
gen? And
she
the new
got
one's a fifth.
the last of 2016. Yeah, the current one 17 and now is the fifth gen. So that means that's about to get changed into something completely similar.
Yeah.
Basically, anytime we road trip, we'll take her car. It's just like, that way we can both drive it.
That's
She's
fair.
not exactly been in a hurry to learn how to drive a stick.
Yeah, we would take Emily's car to, if we were to go to Nashville again to see her brother and everything, we'd take her car. But when we go to the mountains, we take the Jeep because mountain roads.
Yeah. The HRV should be okay on that.
It should, but she's going to keep that thing a long time. We bought it brand new. I want to keep it pretty as long as possible.
No sense beating the shit out of it, whereas
Correct.
the Jeep's meant to do that.
Yeah, and even that, it's even then the paint's still pretty fucking good on it, considering it's at 146 now in mileage, which is pretty damn good actually. Steve, I'm gonna make you guess the car and driver 10 best from 2004.
Honda Accord.
I didn't say car of the year.
Yeah, you said 10 best.
All right,
So Accord 3 Series.
you've already got 2 of them.
Right. I know like those stayed on there a long time.
So Honda Accord and BMW 3 Series / M3. You have 8 left, and should I give you the country of origin? I'll give you the number. All right, so let's see. Okay. So coming up in Europe, we have 1 more out of 8. You've already got 2. So there's 1 more from Europe.
GTI.
No, but the right group of the company. It's the right mothership.
That's a lot of options.
I know, but I don't want to. I want to give you a hint. I don't want to give you the answer.
The 911.
No, but so you have 1 from Europe.
The last of the.
Oh yeah, we'll do it like that. 1 from Europe. So
right.
you got 1 left from Europe. This is hilarious, by the way, because there's a car on here that you should absolutely. 2 of these cars you should not fucking buy. There's no way you should buy these cars, and it was a 10 best.
Yeah, I was like the PT Cruiser bullshit.
Did they make those into 04?
Dude, those were around from like 2000 to 2010.
You know what though? It was cool when it came out.
That was the automotive herpes.
It was cool when it came out, but it should not have ran for 10 years. It should have been 2 or 3 and gone.
We did have a Prowler in wholesale.
I would love to have a Prowler and like fucking flat plane crank V8 swap that fucking thing. Just go stupid with it with 6-speed manual. So it is Volkswagen Audi Group,
German.
but it's not Porsche, and it's not Volkswagen.
Something from Audi.
Yes.
An S4.
Yes. That was one of the cars you should absolutely not buy from 2004.
Yeah.
If you're in the market
well,
for
at least then, perhaps. I was a big fan of the S4 for a while, but
they're great looking.
Yeah.
But
Audi gonna Audi that it's got a 60K limit on it.
I have an any.
Me too. We have the technology. Please have yourself an any. Otherwise, that's gross.
I don't know. Like somebody took a plunger to your fucking navel.
And what the plunger this beer.
Have you seen the
Yikes.
old, was it E-Fucked or was it Rotten? It was a guy fucking this really
Style project.
This really fat fucking girl, and he's fucking her in her belly button. Just the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. So we knocked out Europe. You got Audi, BMW, and you got Honda Accord. So what we have left is we have from America 2.
C5?
C5 Corvette?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All
Chevrolet
right.
Corvette is Car and Driver 10 Best 2004. I could probably think of some better. Like, I like Corvettes, but the C5 was just, unless it was a Z06, but that's not specified on here. I don't know, man. The interiors on those did not age very well. The C6 actually doesn't look terrible. It looks basic, but the C5 looks really bad. You got one more left on American.
CTSV.
No, and wrong company. No more GMs.
Okay.
No more Mopars.
Okay. F-150.
Wrong, or right company, wrong car.
Okay, because that would have been the really big change from the rounded F-150 to the boxier ones that I can't tell an F-150 from 04 through now.
No. You know what? The F-150s from like early 2000s were actually not bad looking trucks.
Yeah.
Same with the Silverados.
Tundras.
Chevrolet has not topped Tahoe, Suburban, and 1500 Silverados from the mid 90s. That is a timeless design. I love that.
What is it? Ford.
Mr. Eric King had one of these. It was a Ford. It was a 10 best, and it was a car.
Well, it was technically 05, but the classically style Mustang.
He had no Mustang. This was front-wheel drive.
A Focus?
Yeah, the Focus. Ford Focus was on the 10 best. So we have Audi S4 Quattro, BMW 3 Series, Chevy Corvette, Ford Focus, and Honda Accord. I think you've knocked out 5 from my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And funny enough, they're all in a row, which is hilarious. The other 5 are all Japanese, and they... This is fun. I like this. I would give you a hint, but if I give you this hint, it's going to completely give 2 of them away.
Let's see. It's going to be the Acura TL or CL.
No, but you're in the right track. I've owned 2 of these.
The S2000.
S and
TL.
I didn't have a TL.
Oh, was it TSX? Because that was the first year of that one.
Yes, TSX and the S2000 made Car and Driver's 10 best. And for some reason, you've still got them all in a row. So the bottom 3 are left, and they are all from different Japanese companies other than Honda. 1, 1, and 1, basically.
They weren't selling the Evo here yet, but they were selling the WRX.
There are no Mitsubishis, and there are no Subarus on this list,
Okay.
Mr. Esteban Nada. And if you were to pick a Datsun, don't pick the cheap one. Pick the expensive Datsun.
The 350Z, because that would have been
No,
a few years into that. An Inf G35.
Yes. G35 is on here. And those were everywhere when they came out.
Yep.
And it's still a damn fucking good-looking car.
And the more time that passes, the bigger the asshole driving it.
Yeah, really. You got 2 left, Steve. One is one of the other ones you should absolutely not buy. Do not buy this car under any circumstances. And the other one is exclusively driven by assholes.
Altima.
No. But yeah. No, but also yes.
Lexus IS 300.
You pick too fancy of a Toyota.
Land Cruiser.
No. You're thinking trucks now.
Yep.
These batteries ain't gonna charge itself.
Prius.
Yeah. You got 1 left, and you should not buy this car. Prius is driven by assholes. You should not buy this car. It's not a Honda. It's not a Subaru. It's not a Nissan. It's not a Toyota. It's not a Mitsubishi. There's no way you should buy this car unless you just feel like replacing an engine every 50,000 miles.
Never said no Subarus.
Sorry, Kirkman. We've had a guest on here that loves these engines.
Nissan.
No.
Rotary. RX-8.
RX-8 is on the 10
Oh, hey,
best.
Mark.
That's the 10 best from 04. Looking back, I'll bet Car and Driver looks at that and goes,
What were you thinking?
yeah.
Consumer Reports gave the Chevy Citation high marks in 1980. Mistakes were made.
That was a fun fucking game. Steve, I have it pulled up. Pick a fucking year, man. Pick any year you want. I got them all up.
81.
Did we do this already?
I don't think the 10 best.
Okay. What did we do from 80? No, we did 3-car garage. We did 3-car garage is what we did. All right, so there's 93. That's not going to work.
Like, Car and Driver's been around since, what, the 50s?
Damn, yeah, it has, actually. Or aren't they all under the same... Or no, Motor Trend and Road and Track are under the same umbrella, and Car and Driver and... whatever. I don't remember. I can't wait to see this. You said 81?
Mm-hmm.
It only goes back to 83 on here.
All right. Kaylin's year.
Oh, Kaylin was...
That's how she and I are 18 months apart.
That's right. I could try to find 81 if you want.
Just go as far back as it'll allow, sure.
Maybe they only started doing 10 bests in 83.
That's plausible.
Let's see here. There it is. The title says it all. Here you'll find a rundown of every Car and Driver 10 best list from the inaugural awards in 1983.
Nice.
So the first year was 1983. Kay's
Which is
birthday.
funny because I almost wound up with an 83 Accord for an early car. Thanks, finally, friend. Or an 85 Accord. It would look the same because they were both burgundy, stick-shifted 83 and 85 Accords.
So the first, your oldest car was 80.
84, the Blazer.
Okay, mine was 60.
Hated that thing. Yeah, that's an outlier.
Yeah, that's true.
Else, the next oldest is what, the 87 starting on before the 88?
Yes. Yeah, that was the outlier. But honestly, I got more thumbs up in that fucking old-ass Dodge truck than I got in any other vehicle I've ever owned.
Because you don't see a lot of those, and everybody loves the movie Overboard, and people love Christmas Vacation even more.
Yep.
Same truck.
And the exhaust was cut off. The exhaust was rusted off right behind the muffler, which the muffler...
There's something in my eye.
The muffler sat under the cabin. So if you were to shift into third high gear, because it was only 3-speed, at 30 miles per hour and punch the gas, you got a bass response that would make a fucking audio guy cream his pants. It was I missed that truck. I would love to get another one day. It's 5 o'clock. You got plenty of time. I won't keep you too long. 10 best from 1983, Steve. All right, so let's see. 2 of them are from defunct brands that no longer exist. The rest of them absolutely exist, and the defunct ones are both American, if that helps.
And not American by Northern Irish proxy.
They're American.
Yeah, it's DeLorean. It's no, by then they were on the outs. The Pontiac Trans Am. What's up, Kit Car?
3 of them are American. 2, 3. 3 are American, and of those 3, 2 of them are defunct brands. And then the other ones are, let's see, 1, 2, 3 are Japanese. I really think so.
No Plymouth has been getting any love since the Barracuda.
And 3 are European. Is that right? I didn't give you the right. I gave you 3, 3, and 3, didn't I? 4 are American.
You're thinking I'm paying attention.
Okay.
I sort of trying to think what defunct brands
4 American,
nothing.
3 Japanese, 3 European.
I mean, it's not like they're going to get excited about a Mercury or a Plymouth.
You're right.
So it'd be all older Pontiac.
You got Pontiac.
Because Firebird.
No, it was not Firebird or any kind of kit. They went with the Saab nomenclature for some reason with this model. I don't even know what it is. I don't even remember what that looks like.
Then it's Swedish. It's The Saab 900,000.
No, I was saying it was the Pontiac, but it had Saab numbering system. It was a Pontiac 6000 STE.
Oh wow!
I don't. God!
That was I think the Pontiac Chevy Celebrity. Sorry, Brian.
It was. Oh God Almighty!
Ah, boy.
10 best, 1983. What a time to be alive.
What should be confused with best products? If you have any recollection of that store,
I love that the website that picture's on is totally that stupid.
Like, look, this was setting the stage for the 1986 Mercury Sable to have like a grill full of lights. Woof.
Yep. The other one is the other defunct brand from America that won 10 best. Well, it made plenty of those straight sixes that were in a lot of those Jeeps. AMC/Renault. And because it's hard to... The Alliance.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was very Renault heavy on that one.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. Oddly enough, one of the last cars and copies...
Oh, God, that's tragic looking. What, you get in a convertible? And a sedan? Okay.
Yeah, it was the Chevy Cavalier or BMW 3 Series of cars where you could get in all the things and woof. Oddly enough, I met a kid at Cars and Coffee that had one, and then like a month later, he died. I don't recall how, but it was younger than us and had one, and he was no longer among this silly mortal plane.
Jeez.
I don't know how and why.
I hope he didn't get, like, T-boned in that thing, because...
I think the car survived. It was like friend of friend posting about that, like, because he's a huge AMC nerd and by proxy needs to have, like, sympathy for Renault's existence in the U.S. Never mind, this is the kid that has an Edsel and a Cougar and a high-mileage Expedition.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about the Expedition that my buddy Josh Hagler, the tattoo artist, his dad had one. And in the manual, it says that it's Ford spec for the 5.4-liter V8 to burn a half a quart of oil between oil changes. Ugh. So you knew it was...
I've vaguely heard bad things about the 5.4, and there's proof.
In the manual, it's spec to burn through a half a quart of oil. Why don't you fix the fucking problem? How about that, Ford Motor Company?
Yeah.
So we got...
FMC, FML.
AMC Alliance, and the Pontiac 6000 STE. The rest of them are going to be fairly... normal models, except for maybe one of the German models. But it's still if you get it mostly right, I'll give it to you.
Obligatory Accord and 3 Series.
Honda Accord's on there, but there is no BMW.
Oh wait, that was then the last year of the 320. That was before the 325s with the E28 body chassis thingy.
You've got 3 German cars left, and
an Audi 5000 would be hilarious.
There are no Audis.
Good. GTI, first year stateside.
Volkswagen Rabbit GTI is on here. Yep. You got 2 more, and they are different German companies.
The first year in a 944.
Yes, got it. I've always liked the 944. That and the Starion, I thought, were the best looking ones.
It's basically the same general idea of a 924, except it looked good. The 924s look so ratty.
They did. And I really, you know what? I really like the 968 and the 928. I really always liked those things. But the 924 looked anemic.
Just aggressively shitty.
Yes.
It's like, are those bicycle reflectors on the fenders?
You got one more, Steve, and if memory serves me correctly, this is a rather handsome devil. If I can remember, there we go. And I can't remember if it was a sedan or a coupe, and it was a sedan, and I love those fucking things. talk about the way they used to be built, and they were just built like fucking tanks. Something
from Mercedes.
Yes.
But how big a Mercedes is going to be what became the S-Class, E-Class, C-Class? Is it 190E? Is it going to be S500?
You got the S right, but the number wrong.
420, haha.
380 SEL.
The convertible?
No, it was definitely a sedan, and it looks fucking marvelous. Oh, wow, that looks really good with those modern wheels. Bruh. You want to go halfsies?
Oh, my.
That's cool as shit.
Nice monoblocks.
That's fucking boss.
I did look up the option to put RAV4 monoblocks in my car.
Those are heavy. Stop putting heavy wheels on your fucking little car, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I did find wheels and have yet to paint them up. It's like, fuck it. I want to go black wheels again.
Yeah. Black wheels are always good.
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm kicking myself for not doing it the first time. When I got the Rubicon wheels, the first time I was like, that looks good. And then I saw the new JL, the black ones I have on there now. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, you found them, you put them on, and you like them. So
$1,400 for 5 wheels and tires that were brand new takeoffs.
Goodness.
The tires themselves, without mounting and balancing them, would have been that much. So,
yeah,
came out ahead of that. And I've been doing 5 tire rotations because if I can get another 6 months out of it.
Just give you the Cyan wheels you like so much and like see if those will fit your car.
No. I'm afraid the width might not be.
They're 17 by 7. And you probably have 8 or 9 inch wheels.
Huh. Mine are, what are on there now? I think they're 275, 55, 17.
They're probably
275, 75.
They probably Boeing in something fierce because they're meant for a 225 tire.
Never mind. Mine are 255, 75, 17 is what they are. 255, 75, 17. Okay. By the way, Starion had 245, 45, 16s.
They were staggered, aren't they?
Yeah, they were staggered. But at the time, like, that was a huge fucking tire on the back, which is hilarious now. But it's still hard to find now because 16-inch tire, like, wheels are not 9 inches wide in the back.
No.
Or NSX it and double staggered. How you rotate it?
So
this way.
You don't. Or see, also DeLorean, also double staggered. You had a 14 in the front and 15 in the back. Yeah. Yikes.
Z06s were like that too, the C5s. They were 18 by 9 in the back, 17 by 8 in the front. Oh, fuck. All right, you got 2 left that are American. And then the rest of them are Japanese. The rest of them are, you got Accord already, so you got 1.
Would they have yet had the...
You got 2 left of each.
Cara Voyager?
Yeah.
Because that was technically 84.
Yeah. You got 2 American, 2 Jap left.
Early Camry?
No, but Toyota is on there.
Mr. 2 wasn't around yet.
Nope. Mr. 2 was 86.
Celica Supra?
Yes. You got it. I never really cared for those.
That was my first introduction to Supra, and just kind of weird wedgie car. And a coworker of mine in Raleigh had one, and was trying to restore it, and having great difficulty to replace the rusted out hatch and to put bigger wheels on it. That it was taking 4 lug wheels in a weird bolt pattern and a weird width to make 16-inch wheels fit instead of 14 stock.
I can't think of another car other than the Supra that took that big a jump from generation to generation. I mean, it went from that to...
Or the one before it. Yuck.
It was just completely, like, exponential. Like, it just went... Like, at least the Z went, a little better, little better, little better, little better. Like... And then the 350Z went, ugh, that's ugly. 370Z is better. But and that car just went from nothing to, like, super fucking car in 10 fucking years. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So I still really like the look of the 3rd gen.
I'm indifferent to it. My Starion got confused for it so much that I kind of had a little disdain for it sometimes. They'd be like, "Ooh, there's a Starion for sale on the other side of town." I'd be like, "Ooh, where is it? Oh, go there, go there." And I'd go over there, and it'd be like a 944 or a Supra every fucking time. God damn it, man! I didn't think they look anything alike, but I'm a car person.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I could see that every wedge car would be really funny though if they pointed you toward a Subaru XT6. Man, you need to get your eyes checked.
Yeah.
Because that's a coupe, not a hatch.
Uh-huh.
As well as other oddities.
Yeah. You've got one American car. You got 2 American cars and 1 Japanese car left. Once again, you should not buy one of these cars unless you want an engine swap.
The RX-7
yes.
from 1983.
Yes, which I like.
Gray's dad apparently had one back in the day, a first-gen RX-7.
It's got to be like driving a car with a rubber band underneath you just rev it infinitely, but longevity.
Infinity's going to come to an end, bud.
Yeah. You got 2 American cars left, and then you have to go spend time with your in-laws. Which are lovely people, actually.
Yeah, it's good. It's not the running gag of the in-laws.
Yeah, mine are either, actually.
And also for and on Caitlin's behalf, for her to go see her in-laws, like everyone's fine.
Yeah. Hey, at least y'all's in-laws have actually met each other.
Huh?
Whereas my in-laws have met my father, but not my mother, ever. And Emily and I will have known each other for 12 years in 3 months. So life's weird sometimes, Steve.
I would really enjoy if Dad and Matt could go golfing, but Matt has such shoulder concerns that he can't golf. Because Dad adores golfing. I don't. I would divot less using a shovel.
You could drive the golf cart and be the beer guy.
Yeah.
And I'll go golfing with you because I love playing golf. And I'm terrible.
Dude, like, we're going to get Bob down, Gordon and Colin down. We're going to have to make a thing of this.
Please do. Or why don't they play golf and then we can play disc golf beside them? Is that a thing?
I'm unaware of a course supporting both events at the same time, although I always found it difficult to line up the disc on the tee and then go thwack it with a club, because that's how that works, right?
Yeah, because like when I go golfing, I take the ball and I just try to throw it as fucking far as possible. Basket golf.
It's like the potato cannon golf ball.
Dude, that sounds fun. That sounds fun.
It's like, damn it. Might need to buy a place in Bumstick Nowhere now.
Or do you like do the shot put thing with the golf ball?
Yeah. Yes.
You got 2 American cars left, Steve, and then we're done.
Left. All right.
So you want me to give you a hint?
Please.
There's no Mopars. There are no Jeeps. Both of these cars I have seen as police cars at some point, and one is not a Crown Victoria.
The Caprice Impala?
The Caprice, yes. The Caprice, yes. There was a little bit of a trick thing, because I've seen a police car in this body style of car before in my hometown, but it's not regularly a police car.
Like a Ford LTD Crown Victoria?
Not Crown. No, no Crown Vics.
Bonkers McTavish, if that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's way
it
too
is Ford.
The LTD?
No, it did not have 4 doors.
A Fox Body Stang?
Yep. Mustang GT50.
Wow.
Yep. There was one in Stanley County.
That was actually what Ferris started life as, was a state highway patrol one.
Yep.
Because that was the lightest weight available, because it was the most stripped down model. Cool. You bought a car without AC in L fucking A.
Yeah.
Is that what the Lexus supercar meant?
Yeah. I like that. There was a guy at, I don't even remember his name, that was when I graduated, or actually he graduated a year before me. He had a white LX, with Fox body with the modern Cobra R wheel, just the plain 5-spoke black wheels, lowered white LX 50.
That's how my car's going to look next week. Just you wait. I can't get the wheel swapped out quickly.
Let me tell you, that car looks so good. And I think he ended up actually spraying like a 150 shot, something stupid on it.
Damn.
That car would move, dude. And it looks so good. It was real clean, no body kit, just lowered like an inch or so on those 18-inch wheels, the clean it sounded good.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to lower a car on these stupid streets.
Well, S2K was lowered, but it wasn't my daily. So
yeah,
kind of easier pill to swallow. The 10 best, that was fun. Steve, what you got on the menu for dinner tonight at In-Laws?
Whatever Matt wants to make. It's always good.
Well, Kay can cook pretty good too, can't she?
Yes. And by just kind of being surrounded by such, I've kind of gotten the hang of a thing or two. Like the pork belly last week.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I was afraid to burn the shit out of it because, like, the crispy bits, that's supposed to be, like, extra crunchy.
Yeah.
Wasn't really sure what side was up doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It still turned out good and delicious, but it's such a fatty cut of meat. You can't really burn it.
No,
It took half an hour to clean that pan, but it was delicious. So there's that.
Well,
and it was $10 for not quite 2 pounds of meat.
Well, you could next time just like cook it all the way through and then flash fry it with like a little torch or something, kind of char the outside of it.
Funny, I did buy Dad a butane torch for Christmas from Harbor Freight. It's like I could totally do that for my own shenanigans.
Absolutely,
because I have a lot of Harbor Freight money too. Like, what's it gonna do? Like, catch the torch on fire? No.
You could also
it's not jack stands. Thanks, Brian.
You could also make creme brulee with that torch too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, 104's in the Bix.
All right.
I like doing this on Sunday.
Yeah. This is bad decent. Like, I'm not frustrated from work. Like, what I do? Slept in a bunch and needed some Advil.
I had a lunchtime gig and then didn't do anything. I went to Pour last night and had Puerto Rican food. Monday through Friday is where it's fucking at, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Welcome to whenever you are.
I haven't had one call from anybody at work. I don't get phone calls because...
Dude, that would suck so hard if, like, your previous crew is like, hey, man, what's going on here? It's like, not my job, dude. Sorry.
Nobody's messaged. Well, 2 of them quit after I left, so...
Interesting. More off-air discussion? Interesting. Because, yeah, I still got half an hour before I needed to be anywhere. But, I had something really terrible be brought to my attention yesterday.
Really? All righty. Well, we're done. 104 in the books, 105 in 2 weeks. You know the drill. Bye.
That's Luigi.
And...
Cut.
No.
Toodles. Dreedles. 104dles.
104dles. Blake Bortles. Whatever.
Never played Portal.
Bye-bye.
Bye.